Hello everybody, welcome to another battle report, second one today. Never done two in a day before, must be doing fairly well. This was a 4,500 point game against Silas, follow on from the previous battle report. We went one game after another really. This was the diagonal deployment, and the secondary objective is to hold the ground in the middle, which is why that marker is right there. Let me just talk you through Silas's army list first, and then we'll go on to mine. So we've got a big unit of 20 Greybeards here with great weapons. We've got a unit of handgunners here, hand-gilded marksmen, I think they call maybe. A unit of 10 warriors with throwing weapons here. A great big unit of Kingsguard here. These, I think, have got great weapons. There's a king in here, and a thane, and a runic smith, I think. Yep, that sounds about right. And then he's deployed here in the forest, making effective use of the terrain. We have a cannon, and an anvil of power. On my side, we've got a unit of braves here, a unit of caimans, a stygiosaur, a veteran, big unit of braves with a single caiman, 5 caimans here, 2 sets of 15 braves, pterosaur and a stygiosaur here, and then 2 veterans. So an identical list to my recent battle reports. You'll notice these two are hanging out behind the house, and these two are, sorry, the hill, and these two are hanging out behind the house. That's because the cannons are deadly, basically. So if I don't get the first turn, then I will not be shot at with those. I could also hide behind this hill with a stygiosaur, but by the time he made it, it wouldn't be worth him kind of hanging out there really. So I've just decided to brave it with him. But yeah, this one is particularly the biggest target. So that's that. That's the end of deployment. Let's get on to turn 1. Or vanguards, actually, first. Yeah, let's get on to vanguards. Okay, so we actually forgot the vanguards photograph, but not a massive drama. Only one thing vanguarded, which was this unit of dwarves. I think Silas has played this really, really well. Because what he's done is he's prevented my 2 veterans here and here from being able to get around this unit without being seen, which is forcing me to push my skinks up here. And in order to prevent this king from charging out and taking out my general, which he definitely would, I'm having to commit a second unit of skink braves just so that he can't angle round. So that's a real pain and a really good piece of play from Silas. Doesn't stop me from getting my veterans around, but it forces me to throw away 2 chaff units very early on. Because obviously this unit's just going to charge this one, munch through it, and then charge that one. And there's not a lot I can do about that really. So yeah, that's that. Then into the movement phase. So I've got my veterans trying to get around this big unit here, pushing up with everything else. Just trying to close Silas down really, and sort of shut that shooting down as quick as I can because it's really dangerous and really bad. So that is the end of my movement 1. Okay, so this is a photograph from the end of my turn 1. I managed to get a swarm of insects off on one of the cannons, but then the spell was devoured using the rune of, I'm going to say devouring, I'm making that up really, I don't know. So the spell goes off, but then one of my stygiosaurs can't cast that again. I've also got a couple of wounds on the gunners here in the middle from some pretty badass shooting from my skinks here, actually. So that's it for turn 1. Not particularly exciting, but turn 1s really are, aren't they? So that's it, yeah, end of turn 1. Okay, so this is Silas's movement turn 1. There's not a lot going on, just this one charge here with the Kingsguard unit against the skinks. Now, I elected to hold, and looking back on it, I don't know why I did that. Because now that he's declared a charge with the whole unit, the king can't charge out. So I should have just fled and then let him chase this unit as well and let that flee and force this into failed charge, really. I think that would have probably been for the best. But anyway, I didn't do that. So he has charged into this unit of Skink Braves, which he will absolutely demolish. And that's it, really, for turn 1. I think these two units have sort of gone sideways or something, not particularly exciting. Yep, that's it. End of Silas's movement, turn 1. Okay, so this is the end of Silas's turn 1 then. Didn't get anything done in the magic phase, and I was quite happy that both cannons missed. So that's good, because obviously those cannons, they need to hit early in the game, really. So yeah, that was good news. The Caymans took a few wounds from the gunners in the middle here, which is why there's only 3 of them left. And the Kingsguard predictably smashed through the Skinks and overran into the following unit. So that's the end of Silas's turn 1. Okay, so this is the end of my movement turn 2 then. I've got 2 charges off. I got a charge with one of the veterans here into the unit of gunners, which didn't do anything on the standard shoot, because I've got a 1+ arm save and a 5+ ward save. And I've got the Caymans into the lesser unit here. I didn't really want them taking a load of shooting because they don't have saves and toughness like this guy has, so I decided to send them that way and send him that way. Other than that, in the movement phase, just a general advance really. Got to keep in mind that this is my turn, which means that this unit is going to rip through these, reform in at the end of my turn, and be able to charge in Silas's turn. So I'm hoping to punch through this unit with the 3 Caymans here. I'm planning to buff it in the magic phase to make that happen. And I'm just generally giving this unit a wide berth so that however it reforms, it won't have anything to go after is the idea. So that's the end of my movement turn 2. Okay, so this is the end of my turn 2, and it hasn't really gone the way that I wanted it to. I did get Awaken the Beast on this unit, but it didn't actually matter just because the dice were, well, a bit mental really. And yeah, a bunch of 6s here on the wounds, which meant that one of the Caymans died before it got to attack, which also meant that this unit was steadfast. They were really lucky to cause 3 wounds on these Caymans, especially when they're toughness 5. So yeah, a bit annoyed about that really. Other than that, Silas dispelled a swarm of insects on this cannon, which was good play. The veteran was challenged by the champion and killed him, so that's fine. And the Kingsguard predictably ripped through the Skinks, so it's not been a great turn 2. This has really let me down in the middle here, which is going to give them something to come towards here. So that is the end of my turn 2. Okay, so photograph from the end of Silas's turn 2 here then, and you can see that he's managed to get a charge on the Caymans here. It was a rear charge, we figured, just about, so they've gone in there on the rear, and they will absolutely demolish this unit of Caymans, who shouldn't really be there by rights, but there you go. That's the end of Silas's movement. You might just notice that the Greybeards backed off a little bit here from these Caymans and the Stygiosaur. So that's it. That's the end of Silas's movement, turn 2. Okay, so this is a photograph from the end of Silas's turn 2. I got through the Rune of Storms on my veteran here, but didn't do any wounds, and I dispelled the Rune of Gleaming on this unit here. He did 3 wounds on this Stygiosaur from one of his cannons. The combat in the middle was a draw, and the veteran reformed to make way for the Tarasaur, and possibly Stygiosaur, possibly another character. I would want to smash through this unit. To be honest, the Tarasaur can probably do it by himself. I can't actually remember what I did next, so it's as much of a surprise to me as it is to you. What else happened? Yeah, Caymans died, and this unit reformed to face this way. So I've got to smash through this in one go. So yeah, there you go. That's the end of Silas's movement, turn 2. Okay, so this is the end of my movement 3, and what I've done here is I've charged the Tarasaur in, and I brought these 2 Stygiosaurs up. Now, what I was looking for here was for the Tarasaur to do quite a bit of damage, but not too much damage. I want these dwarves to run so that I can chase them with both units, which clears my veteran and the Tarasaur away from this unit is the idea. So the Stygiosaur is going to die because it's going to get cannoned, so I might as well use it as chaff against this unit. So that's the idea there. It's also exactly 12 inches away from this unit, which will allow it to get a predatory roar off, which will benefit the veteran and the Caimans here. And then I'm looking to do 2 breath weapons to clear off this unit. The thing with Silas's army here is that he's got more than 2,000 points in this block here. It's virtually untouchable because of the king in there with his strength 10 D3 wounds. So I've got to kill everything else. Which is why I'm bringing these breath weapons onto this unit, because I don't really see another way of taking out these units right now, because I have to sort out these war machines and these greybeards with everything that I've got over here. So that's the thought process there. Moved up here to the centre objective with this unit here. That's that. That's the end of my movement. Turn, what are we on? 3. Okay, so this is the end of my turn 3, and as you can see, that plan did not work out. The Tarasaur did like a bunch of impact hits. I rolled like 10, and I wanted a lower number, so I actually re-rolled it, and I think I got like 9. So I actually killed every dwarf warrior, which meant that my veteran didn't have anyone to pursue. The Tarasaur could keep on running because it overran, but the veteran hadn't charged that turn, so he couldn't. So now I've just had to reform there and face up to that, so there's not a lot I can do about that. Breath weapon plan did not work very well either. Talking 4d6, strength 5, so I was looking for 14. I'm thinking maybe 5 wounds on this unit, but I got 2, so yeah, a bit sad. Over here, the Greybeards won combat, put a great big dent in... Sorry, no, the Caimans won combat against the Greybeards. Yeah, that one. Put a great big dent in them, but they held because they were steadfast. They just about made that. The veteran here did 4 wounds against the anvil, but it's got 5 and it's unbreakable. So that is the end of my turn 3. Okay, so this is the end of Silas's movement 3. Oh, I forgot to mention I've got a swarm of insects off on this cannon here as well last time. So, let me see what's happened here then. Right, yeah, so in the movement phase, Silas declared a charge against my Stygiosaur, which fled, and then he declared a charge against the veteran. Nothing I could do about that, so I fled, and he caught me. So he caught me there and reformed, facing this way. So he's got the veteran there, and there's not a lot I can do about it. All because my Tarasaur is just too aggressive. Hey ho, that's life. That's the end of Silas's movement 3. Obviously he's got his warriors here have moved up a little bit. Not sure what he's really thinking there, because they're not going to do anything to the veteran, but there you go. So... couple of wounds were taken here, by the way, as he ran through the ruins, but that doesn't really matter. That's the end of Silas's movement 3. Okay, so this is the end of Silas's turn 3 then, and the cannons frankly do not care that they've both got a swarm of insects on them, because they both hit, and they both did 3 or 4 wounds to my Tarasaur, BSB, and so that's the end of him. So that's the second time he's died to cannons in 2 games, which makes me cry. What else have we got going on in this turn? Dispelled, Gleaming against this unit, but then he got -1 to wound against my unit. But the Caimans really underperformed. Only did like, I think, 3 wounds. And then Silas did a bunch back. I lost combat by 1. Used my general's leadership, cold-blooded 8. Became a cold-blooded 7, which is effectively leadership 9. You would expect to pass it more often than not, but didn't in this case. So fled like 12 inches. Went through this unit, Fortunately, didn't take anything on the dangerous terrain. Came out here. The skinks were previously here, so I fled through the skinks, then causing the skinks to flee. Oh my god. So we're all over the place here a little bit, really. And that shouldn't have really happened. They win combat, yes, but break on a 9, on a cold-blooded 7, which is basically a 9. I don't know. Anyway, that's that. Elsewhere in the turn, the anvil was beaten by the veteran over here, and I got Awaken the Beast on this Stygiosaur here. Hang on. No, that's later. Let's calm down. Let's calm down. That didn't happen yet. Yeah, kill the anvil here. That's that. End of Silas's turn 3. Okay, so on to my movement turn 4, and a slight change of camera angle because I got lazy and didn't want to stand up anymore. So this is my movement 4. I have charged both cannons with a veteran each, and I've charged these warriors here with Stygiosaur. What else has happened? The 2 units here, the what's it called, Stygiosaur here and the Skinks here, both failed their rally tests, so they've continued to flee. But the Caimans have passed their rally test, and I've been able to reform them in such a way that this unit here can't quite see them. Although it doesn't really look like it from that angle there, but I'm definitely right because I checked it. So I'm quite happy with that because that's a scoring unit that's kind of landed right within 6 inches of the secondary objective. So happy days there. That's the end of my movement 4. Okay, so this is the end of my turn 4 then. I got Awaken the Beast on the Stygiosaur, which meant that it was able to finish off the warriors. I made a mistake here though. I should have really reformed at the end of combat to threaten this unit here, but I didn't, which was very silly. So the veterans here both took out the cannons, so no more cannon danger. So just this unit really now to go for. Not interested in this. It's far too big, far too scary. So that is the end of my turn 4. Okay, so on Silas's turn 4 then, you got Gleaming on the Kingsguard. I'm not really sure why. I guess that was just because all he could really do. He did some shots with his forge repeater pistol thing, but that didn't do anything. And then he's moved his unit up here into the scoring area of the secondary objective. Again, we were playing to the clock here. We're preparing for a tournament. This was 3 hours. The games in the tournament were 3 hours. We've since actually reviewed the length of them to make them 3.5 hours. But we decided to stop here at the end of turn 4 because it wasn't fair for me to have a turn 5 and Silas not. So yeah, that was the end of it. Consequently, Silas has actually won it on points. When we counted it up, we counted this unit as being dead because it had fled because it had been charged by this veteran. But since we kind of undid my turn 5 so that Silas didn't not get a turn 5 while I did, if that makes sense, then this unit wasn't actually broken, which meant that Silas actually won 13-7, but then I've got 2 scoring units in the middle here, so that's a 3-point swing in my favour, which ends this game 10-10. I like this list that Silas has got here. It's hard to get points from with my army because I just can't engage this unit. That being said, I think I flattered him a little bit. I made at least 3 mistakes in this game. I threw away some skinks earlier on. I didn't need to stack them up for him in the way that I did. I was thinking to protect the veteran, but patience would have allowed me to do that. Or the 2 veterans could have gone around this side of the board here. So I'm annoyed with myself for doing that. Taurosaur combo thing in the middle, I'm annoyed with that as well, because I overcommitted to the destruction of that unit, which meant that my veteran was sacrificed, and I probably could have played that better. And then I'm annoyed that I didn't turn this this guy around here to threaten this unit, even though he turns out he wouldn't have had chance to play it. It's still good play, so I still should have done it. The combat in the middle here, though, where those 3 Caimans didn't take out, I think it was like 8 or 9 dwarf warriors, that was critical, because what that allowed was for this unit here to charge through and then get into a position, so to A, take out the Caimans, B, get into a position to take out the veterans, C, get into a position to be chasing off this unit. So effectively this unit here has got this unit, or this Stygiosaur, 1 veteran, and a unit of Caimans, all because the Caimans underperformed massively. But it is a dice game, so you know that does happen kind of once in a while. But that was a pivotal moment in the game, there's no doubt about that. So yeah, a 10-10 draw. I think Silas's list is an effective one. It's hard to crack these points, which means you have to take out everything else, which means you have to be careful. You can't afford to make these silly mistakes like I've made and pull the or you're going to end up just pulling a draw or getting a minor victory. That being said, I think there are races that will give this list a hard time. Thinking about Dave's Vermin Swarm, for example, I think would give this a really tough time. So yeah, there you go. That's that. A 10-10 draw on this list. That's the end of the game because we've run out of time. Right, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed game 2 of today. That's it. It is now 9:15 here in Suzhou, so I'm off to walk the dogs, and it's raining a lot, so I'll get wet. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.